is Tyler Kimmer. My wife and we lived in Wuhan, China for 4.5 years. We taught English at a university there, and then because in China it's illegal to do mission work, we did a lot of our things kind of behind the scenes, low-key. We had Bible studies with students at our home in the evening, and then we had a small church that met at our house. So that's our missions experience.
Awesome.
We do have a few instructions for when we're traveling. First of all, everyone needs to be wearing their GCT t-shirts in the airport, so we're easily recognizable. No one gets lost that way. Also, make it a priority to go through customs as a group. Preferably have one of the leaders back up the rear so that we'll know exactly who's there and no one gets left behind. And also with customs, prepare to answer a few questions and do not use humor with the customs agent. Sometimes that can be taken very negatively in other cultures. So just a few tips to make sure everything goes smoothly. Also, we should prepare each team member to have their passports, baggage claim numbers, and custom forms ready to be inspected by a customs agent. Upon arrival in a new culture, I think the most important thing is just to connect and listen to the missionary that's already there, because there's going to be a lot of things about the culture that you're not going to understand, and so you just need to kind of blindly follow and do what they say. I know in China we had some situations where people would come over and didn't really understand why we wanted them to do certain things, but if they didn't do it, it would cause some problems with the people in the local culture. So that's one of the most important things starting out.
So Rebecca, what are we talking about today?
GCT team expectations.
The team expectations. Fantastic, my favorite part. Besides combat training, it's also my favorite. And fundraising. And the food.
What's the orientation look like upon arrival with local missionary coordinator?
Alright, well, some of you are going to have a local missionary, which is fantastic. Some of you are just going to have a local host, which means they're taking care of the orphanage or the ministry, or in some cases, in the Philippines, their missionary left on sabbatical and never came back. So you're going to have a nice man who's taking care of the church, but needless to say, there will be someone to meet you there for orientation, to get you enculturated to their church, their ministries, how they've been doing things for years, the local language, the local do's and don'ts, and just the safety, where to go, where not to go. You need to make sure that your team is there, that you guys are respectful, and that you are paying very close attention, because they could be giving you information that is vital to survival. So, yes, make sure that that orientation is planned and that it happens within the first couple hours of you guys getting there.
On the topic of daily devotionals, of course this is something that we want to do each morning to have you connect with God. This is important to any Christian walk, I think, and just refocusing your mind each morning to say, this is why I'm here, this is the purpose behind this. And I think it's also one of those lost arts of meditation, just getting close to God through listening and being quiet and studying His Word. So we really want to make that a focus each day so we're not forgetting our mission. As we engage in ministry, there are going to be opportunities for us to minister to someone of the opposite sex. And in this situation, as Christians, we just need to be completely above reproach. We don't know, how cultures differ, how things can be perceived, and we also don't know what the other person's thinking. And I know in my experience in China, there were missionaries who had the purest of intentions and would have one-on-one Bible studies. In this case, it was a male with a female. And the female started to think, that this was something more than just a Bible study, even though the guy had no intentions of that. So we have to be very careful to not mix, some sort of romantic relationship potential with the gospel that we're trying to share. Each evening we'll have an evening worship and debriefing, and I know from my experience overseas, my wife and I were partners in the mission work, so of course we debriefed about the day and talked about the things that happened. So there's going to be a lot of crazy things that can happen to each one of us, and we need to talk about those things and share our experiences because we can really learn from each other, of course. And then it's also just a great time to worship together and praise God for the things that we're going to be seeing. Before returning to the United States, we do want to do a re-entry session. Whether it's a couple weeks or even a year, there can be elements, of course, of culture shock when you go to another country. Things that you'll see, whether it's a difference in poverty or just the fact that you've had this focused week with other Christians and you're really going after something, you have a mission, and now you're kind of back in the States and you don't have that focus anymore. So there's a lot of challenges that can be there when you come back, so we really want to prepare you for that.